Hello, hockey fans. Hey, howdy, how are you? Welcome. Episode 5, Drop the Gloves podcast, brought to you by the good folks at Underdog Nutrition. Remember, no matter where you are at in your fitness journey, they can work with you all steps along the way. Like we've talked about in the past, winter's coming. If you're looking to get in shape or maintain the shape that you got into this summer, you need to check out our friends at Underdog Nutrition on the Facebooks. Search Underdog Nutrition, like their page, reach out, message them. They can answer your questions that you have about reaching your fitness goals. Underdog Nutrition, we couldn't do this without them. We are coming to you again virtually, this time from Big Lots Meadery. We've recognized we had a problem, okay? Suzette, a grandmother, one of the boys, reached out this last weekend, was like, get your shit together. Not really. She said that nicely. I don't know if that's her tone. I'm sure she's a lovely lady, but she was right. The audio issues we were having with the guys at the interviews were unacceptable. That's what we're here for. We're here to get you guys a little closer to these young men, get to know them a little bit, therefore building a relationship, getting you out to Spirit Hall to watch them just beat the piss out of people. That's the goal in the long run. So what we did this week is we got a little microphone that clips right there. You're going to see it here shortly. Jack Orchard was nice enough to be the first one to sit in the torture chair in there, did the interview. Awesome. Another one of them Canadians. Great young man. Easton Apodaca followed him up. Easton, Gillette kid, come through the whole program here at Gillette, from mites all the way up through the junior program. So we talk a little bit about that and kind of what he has seen and learned along the way here as a hockey player. We are also going to get into a little bit of another sweep this weekend at Spirit Hall, this time over Butte. Both nights, little sluggish. Gillette pulls out the win, sweeps the weekend series. We're going to have Kevin Geis on the recap here shortly. And then we're going to wrap things up with the awards that are handed out. And that's another thing I should have started this with. You're seeing this on Thursday night. The show is going to come out Thursday nights moving forward. Thirsty Thursdays, no better time. Thirsty Thursday. So what happens is, traditionally, we have found so far the NA3HL, they like to announce the winners of their awards, whether it be weekly or monthly. They like to do that on Tuesday. Up to this point, we had been doing the interviews and kind of recording this open on a Monday. So we're going to move all that back. So we have the opportunity to take the news we get Tuesday, do what we're doing right now on a Wednesday, even though you're seeing this on a Thursday. So it can come out on a Thursday. You guys can soak it all up. That's going to be what we try to do moving forward. I hope you enjoy. You're going to see a little bit of change with the graphics and stuff. That's another reason I stayed and did this kind of virtually. We've been playing around with the graphics a little better. If you guys are going to take the time to watch this show, we need to take the time to make sure it's a show you want to watch, that it's a show you want to share, that it is a show that grandma wants to show her friends to say, hey, here's little Timmy on his hockey team. This is what they're doing. And then when people see this stuff, they watch these highlights of the boys on the weekend and they hear them talking. They think, all right, hockey's pretty cool. These are great young men. The folks in town here in Gillette and surrounding areas, seeing this stuff, they want to come to Spirit Hall. They want to watch this team, because I'm telling you, something special is happening at Spirit Hall right now with this junior team. They are fun to watch. It is fun hockey to watch. An example of that is what you're going to see right now. Little thing we like to call the Wilds weekend that was.
Both teams are getting things strapped on, and we're about ready to get underway here as the Cobras are in their road blacks with red shoulders, red letters with white numerals, white accents on the numerals. Got Butte Cobras in red across the front with a cobra, and they got the little snake skin on the sides. They got their black socks with gray and red stripes. The Wild in their St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital benefit auction jerseys, white with purple numerals, purple shoulders, and white and purple socks. And we're about ready to get things underway as we'll skate from left to right, south to north here as Douchman will take the draw. Now it's picked up by Slinger. Slinger's dad, Mitch, is here tonight with Dean Weisler. Fired in from the side, bounces off. Wild trying to get it. Hodney with it. It was laying right there. That was Delabovi had a little piece of it, and it was in the crease. And Hodney with a little backhander put that one through. So Caleb gets another one. This line's been working hard. They're going to get rewarded right there. So even strength gold ties the game. 2:59 to go here in the first. Gets it back to Trebojevic over to Guitard. Near side to Cooch. Cooch brings it in. Goes around a man. Cooch with some handles. Fires. Bounces. Goal! Another one right there. Isaac Young. So the Wild a little slow to get started, but Trebojevic got that pass to Cooch. Cooch brought it in. Did a little move to get around his man. Came into the slot. Shot it down there. Goaltender Cross made a save, but right there to get the rebound. Isaac Young on the far side doorstep. So Wild, after not scoring, have scored 2 goals within 28 seconds right here. And Play stuck his foot down to keep that one in the zone for the Wild for a second. But Fanning with it. Got Delabovi right in front. Right there, Urkanen. Yes, Urkanen got that one. That was shot in off the side by Fanning. Urkanen got that. Delabovi was down low. Hodney was crashing, but Urkanen with the goal. 24.4 left in this second. Fanning kicks it up high to Guitard, gets it near side to Sanborn as he walks in, sends it right back across. Oh, Declan got one. He fanned on it the first time, but he got it the next time. So that was Declan from Sanborn and Guitard. Guitard gets his first assist. The Wild get a power play goal to extend their lead to 4-2. Puck down, we're underway. Kept in by Fanning as he gets it to Isaac Young. Isaac fires it, but it goes off the pads of Jonah Olsen, or Johan, excuse me. There's Jonah Gilbert and Johan Olsen right next to each other. Fanning walks in, tries to slide it across, trying to get Isaac, and then back door right there. He escorts his man to the ground as Lyon was trying to check Cooch, but centering pass right in front. Fanning was cutting down the slot, and then Douchman gets his stick knocked out of his hand. He'd have been there for one right there if he didn't have his stick knocked out of his hand. Isaac Young with it now. He's getting pressure, but it comes to Cooch as he's looking. Cooch walks in, fires one, goal. Nice shot, Carson Cooch. He's been gone for a little while, but he's back at her. I think that'll be from Young. Cooch been working on hot shot crews, fighting fires, so he hasn't been laying around. He's been out working and getting right back in it where he left off from last year. Right. Puck's down and looks like 24. Keith Desjardins got on the ice here for the last sequence, but the Wild get the victory here as the game ends. Wild with a 6-4 victory. So we'll give you the 3 stars of the game here. Isaac Young, 3rd star of the game with a goal and 3 assists. Carson Cooch, 2 goals and assists here, first night back. Zach Urkanen with the assist and the game-winning goal. So congratulations to them. Wild with a 6-2 victory. We'll see you tomorrow night. We're about ready to get things going as Wild will skate left to right, south to north here as we get it going. Referee Island drops the puck, and here we go. Wild were 1 for 3 last night on the power play. They didn't get any power play opportunities there in that first period, so we'll see if they can get something going here as Isaac Young walks it along the blue line. Brings it back near side. Goal! That was Declan Young right there from the near side. Just fired one. There was a little bit of traffic in front, but puck's down. We're back underway as Blake's trying to get to it, but Apodaca is able to finally get it to Norwegian. It comes up ahead. Lean trying to get it. Sends it right in front. A little behind Apodaca. Apodaca pinched up trying to get to that. Trebojevic now, he's down low, carrying it, gets it around to Lean. Lean's looking, gets it up to the high slot to Norwegian. Norwegian goal! Right from the high slot, Seja Norwegian with a goal. Nice feed from Tucker Lean, and that line's getting going again. They've got a delayed penalty, so Allport's trying to head to the bench. He's going to get there. A little tougher when it's on the far end. Wild pass up ahead. Bringing it in now. Cooch gets it to Lean. Lean fires. Will Blake on the backhand right there. Bannenstein made the save, but Will Blake got the power play goal. The Wild with a 3-2 lead, and they're going to get a power play opportunity right here. That's number 18, Carson Strike, that's in the box. Sanborn slides it over to Isaac Young. Isaac back to Sanborn. Isaac walks it down the near wall, waiting for people to change up. Slides over the far side to Sanborn. Back to Isaac. Down to Sanborn. Walks in the face-off dot. Tried to center right front. Goal. Tristan Baker. Power play goal. Declan battling, trying to get to it down there, and Declan's going to come away with it. Tries to center right in front, Sanborn. Baker trying to whip it around. Baker got another one. He just kept working at it. I don't think it came off his blade initially like he wanted to, and he ended up still with it. The goaltender was down. He was able to slide it under, so the Wild extend their lead to 5-2 here with 2 minutes exactly to go in the second period. Goaltender getting things readjusted as he gets his helmet put back on and gets ready here. Taking a quick little break, but he gets things adjusted and we're ready to go. Puck comes away. Good job by Cooch to knock his man off the puck, and then it's fired in. Dushman battling for it, and then Cooch is able to keep it in. It's at player's feet. Dushman gets it to Isaac Young. Isaac fires a goal! Right there, Alex the Flying Dutchman with another one. So that was just good effort right there. The Cooch and Dushman kept that one in. Got a little pass ahead to, so I'm supposed to say Dushman from Coochman, but good hustle right there. So Wild get it near side to Fanning. Fanning fires one that's off the glass. He had some traffic in front. Sejan Norwegian sends it down low to Blake. Blake brings it in, comes across. Fanning fires one. Nice save by Wallery, and that's away. Wallery giving it to the beer garden up there. As he's happy to make that save, but Wallery came in at 11:47 of the third, and he did not give up any goals, I believe, so it ends up a 6-5 game here. So we will end up. The Wild tap their sticks on the ice, and the crowd gives the cheers for them. We'll see who the 3 stars of the game are tonight. Isaac Young with 3 assists. Good game for him again tonight. Tristan Baker, 2 goals and an assist. Goal and assist, and the franchise all-time Leading point man, Declan Young. Congratulations to him. So, Wild with the 6-5 victory. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, we've changed rooms. We're going to try to do this now where we can hear the guys. So, as you've seen before, we're still going to start at the meadery, but we're actually at Spirit Hall in the little dungeon room. This heater was going, it's 88 degrees in here. We'll plug this back in before we leave. But Jack Orchard was nice enough to come in, be the first guy to test out the new mic system. We practiced a minute ago. We think it's going to work. So first of all, thanks for taking some time to sit down with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
So we talked a little bit about how you ended up in Gillette. We'll get to that in a minute. But you are the first goalie we've had on here. So what leads you into being a goalie when you started hockey? Did you start it knowing you wanted to do that? Or how did that come about?
I guess I didn't really start knowing I was going to be a goalie, but I started playing hockey when I was 4 years old. Kind of just my first year, I was just learning how to skate and whatever, and then my next year, so I was 5. When we would play little scrimmages, you know how you'd always have the goalie equipment kind of passed around the whole team.
Yep.
Yeah, so once it got to me, I don't know, I guess I liked it a lot. And then I have an older brother too that I look up to a lot, and he was also a goalie.
Okay.
So I guess little me just thought I had to be a goalie just like my bigger brother. So
there was gear around the house then. So you kind of had an idea of what you were getting into a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you are the third young man that we have that's from Canada. So you were also from Fort Francis, which I believe is where Seja was from.
Yeah.
Now,
correct.
I assume you guys know each other?
Yes.
How big is Fort Francis? What are we talking size-wise?
I think it's close to 10,000 people, I think, in population.
Oh, okay. So it's not
Nothing.
tiny at all.
No, it's not small, but it's not
Okay.
very. Not big.
And then so you ended up over, and then you played in War Road as well.
Mm-hmm.
How far are you guys the same age, or what's your age difference?
Seja is an 02, and I'm a 2003, but we're only like 4 months apart, 5 months, somewhere in there.
So you guys grew up playing together then?
A little bit, kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. One thing I've asked all the guys at the start is a little bit to go back, and you just talked about, being the 4 and the 5-year-old and passing the goalie equipment around.
Mm-hmm.
What is your first memory? Like when you look back, what is the first memory you have of hockey?
I guess probably when I was that first year when I was learning how to skate, and we're all just like doing all these skating drills. And my dad actually was out there teaching all of us too. He was kind of like an assistant coach, I guess you could say. And I mean, I guess the first thing I remember about hockey is just all of us practicing skating and trying to get that cool sound of the ice cutting into the so.
Is that a thing? You hear about it being a substantially more popular or important sport in Canada. Is that true, or is that overstated, or is it for maybe the youth here in the States versus the youth in Canada? What would you gauge? Is there a big difference in how hockey's viewed, or not so much?
I guess it kind of depends whereabouts you're talking in Canada, but
okay.
I mean, I suppose I guess.
Is the product presented different from the standpoint of here the NFL's king, football's king, and I know
I guess
Canada has its own football, but Saturday night, is it Canadian? What is the Saturday night in Canada, or what is the? I can't think. I think it's on TSN. There's like a Saturday night or hockey night in Canada.
Hockey night in Canada.
Sort of stuff like that. Those seem to be like the big Monday night football here.
Mm-hmm.
You have the hockey night in Canada stuff. So it's something that's it's as popular as it's led on to be.
Yeah, I guess you could say hockey's kind of king in Canada.
Nice.
I suppose, yeah.
So then how does a young man from Fort Francis end up on a junior team in Gillette, Wyoming?
Well, so I moved from Fort Francis to War Road when I was about 10 years old, I think, 11 years old.
So with what now? When you say you moved, is that like the family moves?
Yes.
Okay, so
But
the family moves.
We still had so we had 2 houses. We still had a house in Fort Francis.
Okay.
And then we also bought a house in Warroad.
Okay.
Because my dad still needed to live there so he could go to work.
Yep. How far apart are we talking? I need to look this at a map.
It's not that far. It's only like an hour and 40-minute
Ooh, that
drive.
still could be rough in the winter, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first couple of years, I guess my parents would be kind of like away a lot.
Okay.
Because my dad, he would do like night shifts and stuff, and then so he would be gone for like 4 days at a time and whatever, and then my mom would go there sometimes because she was a teacher in Canada.
Okay.
So they both had jobs in Canada still, but me and my older brother were going to school in Warroad. And then
how far apart are you and your brother?
My brother is 4 years older than me, so
okay.
he's 22 now, but
gotcha.
At the time it was his sophomore year, I think, was his first year in Warroad, and then it was my 6th grade year.
Okay, gotcha.
So.
Okay, so you're back. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Okay, so you're back in Warroad.
Back in Warroad.
Oh wait, stop. You go down. You say you're a 6th grader. What level are you at there when you?
That was my
Warroad?
first year Pee Wee.
First year Pee Wee. Okay.
Yes.
And is the age levels the same as it is here?
Yes.
Okay, so first level Pee Wees in Warroad.
Yeah. So that's where I started off, and then I'd say I got a lot better as a goalie in Warroad because I was spending a lot more time on the ice because there's always open hockey, they called it.
Okay.
In Warroad.
Like open gym at a basketball gym or something. Okay.
Yes. And so we'd always have like free time to skate around. So I was spending a lot of time on the ice, and my dad even told me like he's seen a big difference in like the way I play and my footwork and stuff. He just noticed that I got way better as a skater even when we moved to Warroad. So then so it was going into my senior year now in high school. Then with COVID and everything, I was worried that we weren't going to have a season or it was going to start late or something. So I figured I would try and make like a junior team just so I would be skating in like September and I'd be like ready for the high school season to start.
Now, how involved? Like, are you looking at like the individual states and the stuff that's going down? Where I know even some of the junior teams back east, they weren't playing. Mm-hmm. So was that where? I mean, were you guys looking out west here, or was it a deal where you all was going to kind of stay out here in the west?
I guess I wasn't really specifically looking out in the west. I was kind of open to anything because I could do school online, so I wasn't really worried about where I would end up. You just wanted
to be somewhere where they were going to play hockey.
Yes, just somewhere where I could skate every day and just be ready for the high school season to start and everything else. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up practicing with the Granite City Lumberjacks, and
which is where?
That's in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Okay, gotcha.
So I went to a town called Mora, Minnesota with one of my buddies. I lived with him for, I guess it was September to November, kinda. So I lived with him for a few months, and we'd always drive an hour to the rink.
Sorry, just making sure it's still recording. Okay.
We'd always drive an hour to the rink every day to go practice, and then Minnesota got shut down from COVID and everything, so we weren't skating. We had a little week off, and then that's when Taylor Shaw got a hold of me.
Okay.
And offered me to come and skate out there with them, out here to you guys. So I came out here at the beginning of December, like December 7th or something like that. I think I came out here. Yeah, last year. Came out here, started skating, practicing. Altitude hit me pretty hard, and I really loved it here. Really good group of guys. I really liked the coaching staff. I just liked everything about it here, so I just fell in love immediately. So I was like, hey, I gotta come back here next year.
Nice, that's cool. And that seems to be, kind of a sentiment around all the guys. I don't know if anyone's going to come on here and say Gillette's a shithole, but there are people in town that feel that way, and that's I mean, from our standpoint, we were visiting beforehand. I mean, my wife's also a teacher here. We love it up here for what we have for raising our kids and stuff. Gillette's a great place to be. I can tell you the last 2 years, it's been a great place to be riding all this stuff out. So that's cool to hear that especially in the hockey community, for you guys to come in, that can you put your finger on one thing specific? I mean, you talked about the staff and maybe the organization, but does our rink stack up with stuff that you guys have been in before, and is kind of the attitude of the city, the crowd and stuff for the team, or kind of where does all that measure up?
I think one of the cooler parts that I like is just the geography of where like Gillette is, and like how we got the rolling hills and stuff and all here. Because I've just lived in flat trees and whatever.
I'm from the same.
Yeah,
my parents farmers and ranchers, man. Little house on the prairie in southeast Colorado. So I'm 100% with you on miles and miles of nothing.
Yeah, so I was really, really fascinated just about the land around here and whatnot, and how we're so close to the mountains and stuff. Because I really love the mountains too, because they're just awesome. And then obviously we have a really nice facility here too. Like, I can't complain at all about the rink and whatever. And the rec center, the rec center is just unbelievable.
For you guys to get to go, so that is somewhere in town that's part of the deal. You guys get to go work out at, and then also like the Apex folks.
Yes.
Now is that something that's different? Do the other junior teams, do they have anything like that's at that level, or?
Not really. I guess it's not like. I don't think any team can just be like, hey, you guys want to go to the recovery room at the physical therapy place, and then like that GPT is just unbelievable how they let us just come in there and go to their recovery room and let us try out all their cool stuff. So
that they have.
Yeah.
And they're here at the game, and they're also in town. Like, back to my wife that teaches, the lady that runs the clock on the weekends. My wife's teaching her kids. So the boy, we go watch him play football on Saturday mornings. The Jeff Fickles, they're there. Jeff Fickles, they're there at the high school football games. I mean, that's cool that they do that, and they're involved in town, and they get involved with the hockey. Okay, I want to go back to the goalie aspect of stuff, because I didn't get into hockey too much. I followed it a little bit as when the Avalanche showed up. Is really about the time so that's 96. You're not even born yet.
No.
Man. So it's just way before your time. But as a youngster up north there, and I'll go back to Canadian stuff a lot, were there Canadian goalies you emulated? Like, for us, was when we had Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
So is that someone, did you know of him growing up? Or what was your kind of history with the Canadian goalie? My dad, he talk about Waugh and his little chicken head thing, and that you about have to be batshit crazy to play goalie.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Is that, growing up there as a kid in Canada, was he one of them? And kind of who was that group of the Canadian goalies that you kind of watched and followed growing up?
Well, I definitely was very intrigued in Patrick Waugh. Like, I thought he was awesome. And of course, I was really, really big fan of Carey Price.
Okay.
Like, I grew up watching him, and I would always like watch videos and stuff about like how to get better, like things that he would do before a game or on the ice warming up and stuff, and I would try and like manipulate what he's doing and try and bring it into my game and try and make myself better.
What age did you start really trying to hone in on I'm sure there's a craft to playing goalie.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is, but how like at what age did you go from just standing in between the posts and kind of sliding back and forth to actually learning the art of playing goalie? Like, when did that sort of take place?
I guess you could say, so when I first started out playing hockey, I was actually playing in a small town called Emo.
Okay.
Which is like a half an hour away from Fort Francis.
Okay.
And that's where I lived originally.
Okay.
So That's only a house league organization there, the hockey organization, and then Fort Francis was the AA, I guess you could call it, organization where it's actually competitive and it's a travel team. And when I made that switch from house league to competitive, like AA hockey, I guess you could say that's when I started to take things more seriously, and I actually tried to like perfect my game.
Gotcha. So when you switch from the house league to the more competitive stuff, then are you working with a goalie coach? Is there someone that's done it more that starts working with you, or is it more of because I mean you have videos like I assume YouTube and stuff there that you have access to Carey Price tutorials and stuff. So did you have a coach there helping you, or was it stuff you had to seek?
We didn't. I never really had much goalie coaching. The only goalie coaching I'd say I really got when I was younger was a camp that me and my older brother would always go to down in the cities in Minneapolis and Minnesota. And that was like a 2-week long, it's a specific goalie camp, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So it's like all day long, you're on the ice for like 4 hours a day, and then you got dry land and everything else, and you got video, and that was a really, really nice goalie training camp for us. And it was, we did that for about 3 years, I think it was, in the summertime. And I think that's kind of the only goalie coaching that I really had.
I assume you leaned on your brother some too.
Yes,
like
of course.
I would guess like having him, especially where there's 4 years of difference there. There's probably a lot of stuff he got into that was able to talk and help. And
yeah, there's always lots of times where me, my dad, and my brother would always go skating when we were younger, and I would always work on drills and stuff, and I'd always watch my brother and be seeing what he's doing, and then he would give me little tips.
Easton's here. Easton's next.
He'd always give me little tips and stuff about what to do, and I mean, I'd always get frustrated because I wouldn't always be able to do it, but I'd always keep trying, and it all worked out in the end, I suppose.
Was there an age coming up that you remember maybe the first time you took a shot or saw a shot and you were like, holy balls, was there an age level where it stepped up to where the pucks started coming at you significantly harder? Or do you remember a time maybe where there was a shot where you were like, holy shit, like that was coming?
I guess it was kind of funny because, well, you know how you'd always do 2 years of like Adam, Pee-wees, Bantams.
Okay, yep.
Like that. I guess kind of my first year, whether it was Adam, Pee-wee, or Bantams or whatever, I think it was like whenever it was my year to move up, it was kind of like a little...
The speed changed.
Yeah, the speed changed a lot. So it was, but I'd say probably Pee-wee to Bantams was probably the biggest change in like speed and like hard shots and stuff.
Yeah, and I think you see that even here at our level. You'll see the Pee-wee to the Bantam changed because that's where the checking starts here.
Yep.
So that you see happen, and that I think the game picks up, and then you start seeing boys kind of the puberty hits and the testosterone starts in some of them.
Yeah.
You know, they go over the summer, they show back up and they're 5 inches taller and 40 pounds heavier, and they got muscles and facial hair. And so you are here now, like you're done high school wise.
Yes.
Okay, so now you won't go back anywhere. Like you're planning on staying.
I'm planning on staying here. Yeah.
Nice. Now, the start to the season so far, in the rotation through, like, kind of how does it work with what's going on? Because I think we're carrying 3 goalies now. So how does the rotation work kind of through the week from when you get your starts for the weekend and whatnot? Like, kind of how does your schedule work here early in the year on when you're playing and kind of how all that works? Like, does Ethan when does he let you know?
Normally we kind of find out who's playing usually like on Thursday, the day before.
Okay.
And so I guess in the beginning of the week nothing really is like different.
Okay.
But by Thursday or whatever, when we find out, or whenever we find out, then I guess, I don't know, we'll adapt to that.
Gotcha. Do you enjoy being here in the atmosphere of there's competition kind of every week, and I think it's across the board on the defense, the forwards, the goalies, and everything. Do you like being somewhere where you're pushed all week and everything, where you could maybe go? I haven't quite figured out. I mean, there's some of the teams in the Frontier, hell, they're barely able to field a roster now, where you guys have enough that you guys have you're competing every day in practice and stuff. Do you enjoy that?
Oh, I love that. I love the competitiveness, and like, especially because all of us goalies were pretty good, so I just love the compete. Like, we try and make it fun too, but like on Team Battle Tuesday and stuff, that's really fun too, because it's more like a game, and I love games and stuff, and that's the fun part, is when you're competing against each other like that.
Gotcha. Okay, this is the last thing, and then I will let you go.
Okay.
A young kid maybe that's wanting to be a goalie, or has kind of started out, if there's one piece of advice or something you could tell them, whether it's on the ice, off the ice, like, is there something that's maybe been the best piece of advice that you've been given?
I guess I could just say, don't be afraid to fail. Because being a goalie is is a very technical position, so everything is very tedious, and like every part of your body that has to be put in a certain way. So it's just a very technical position, and I feel like a lot of young kids might get frustrated with themselves, and they might want to quit or whatever. But I guess I could just say, don't be afraid to fail, because when I was young, I had a lot of like failures, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And there's times where I wanted to quit being goalie and whatever, but my brother.
There's nothing worse than goalie in a crappy team.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've witnessed it, where it's you might face 80 shots, 70 shots, and you'll stop the first 4.
Yeah.
But you won't stop somebody knocked the puck.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, where's your defense at? You know? Sorry. But, so, talking about that, and I'm sorry I don't remember, but were you goalieing the other night when it was the penalty shot and then had the save in overtime? Was that you?
I don't think I had a penalty.
Was it the Great Falls game where they got a penalty shot?
I didn't have a penalty shot, though. That might have been Turk.
Okay, but when you talk about a goalie having to forget about something, so he gives up a penalty shot, and then about 7 minutes later, the kid, Sereno, breaks loose in overtime and makes a nice kick save. So that's where you have a few minutes to right or wrong real fast, where you have to forget about that.
That's a really huge part of being goalie too. You gotta like, if you do let in a goal, you can't be too hard on yourself, and you gotta forget quickly.
Okay.
Like, you gotta just, like, it's in the past, don't worry about it now. You can't be hard on yourself. You gotta just stay focused and worry about the next shot.
There it is. Don't worry about it. Stay focused on the next shot. That's perfect. That's a good one to end on. Dude, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, now we think the audio won't get on that one. We're going to try it again. We welcome on. I think, are you the longest tenured guy now on the team?
Yep, I'm the oldest.
Oldest, and then this is your fourth time
This is my third season.
Third season. Okay.
Officially.
You played a couple games there, what would have been your senior year?
Yeah, my senior
year.
year.
With the midgets here?
Yeah.
Okay, Easton Apodaca, taking some time. Defenseman here for the Wild. First, thank you for taking some time.
Of course.
I know you guys are busy and you're running out of nice weather after practice, so I appreciate you doing this here. We, all the guys we've talked to so far come from great distance away.
Yeah.
You've come up and been through the program here. So, did you start at squirt level here in Gillette, or when did your hockey kind of start in town? Where did you start playing at?
I started when I was a mite, so blades and abs.
Oh, good. So you've been in Gillette the whole time.
Yep, I did the whole thing.
Start to finish.
Yep.
Okay. This might be a little too serious question to start on, but I have wanted to ask you this for a while. A lot of the kids you started with, when you look back on your mites and squirts and even in peewees, I assume as you got older, those numbers just got less and less and less.
For sure.
As guys talk about, why do you think that is? Like, what is it about the hockey that you think you saw guys getting out of it?
Well,
Because
I
it
think
still happens now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for most kids, like I know the kids that I went to school with, one of them in particular, Tanner, he fell in love with football, and he decided to go play football. So I think for most of the kids that I went to high school with, it was a different sport that they had more love for.
And that's one thing with, if you're going to play hockey, I mean, you guys start at the end of August, and you go to damn near April. So that is your fall, winter. It is your fall, winter, and spring sport.
It's a big commitment.
Were there other sports that when we did the thing with Catalina, you talked about it liking it since you were a wee little lad. So wee little Easton, what sports was he doing?
I was doing quite a few sports. So I did BMX.
Okay.
I did baseball, and I was gonna do football, and then right before tryouts, I decided that I didn't want to do football, and that's actually how I ended up doing hockey. My parents found out about it, and they signed me up, and I went to a few open skates, and then started practicing with the mites.
And you were hooked off the start, or
Yeah.
There wasn't any forcing you back into it once you started?
No.
Okay.
I think I had one of the little walkers, my mom said, for like 10 minutes, and then I was on my feet by my own.
Nice.
Learning how to do it.
We have a video of the girl, we just watched it the other day, of the girls the first time we brought them to an open skate, and that's the same thing, and I just happened to have it on Madison. The first time she thought she was going to push the walker to the side, and she makes it about 10 foot and falls, but it does. I've never skated. I have no desire to ever try it, but just watching kids, it does seem like, I mean, that's an aspect of hockey where there's a hell of a skill set for baseball, football, basketball, wrestling, whatever you want to do. There's also a hell of a skill set for hockey, and you're doing it skating. Yeah. Like, I think you kind of fall in love with skating and doing that. Jack was talking about, like, his earliest memory of just trying to be able to skate and make the perfect sound. Like, he remember when he was little trying to learn to do that. So that's one thing I've asked everybody, so I'll ask you. Maybe it's going back to those early days with your parents and the mites and stuff, but what is your earliest memory of hockey?
Oh, I think my earliest memory was a coach that I had. Me and him got along really well. It was actually Tanner Richards' dad.
Okay.
So me and him, he brought me up quite a bit in hockey.
Okay.
And yeah.
Is that a big deal then when you have someone like that I've heard of him, and I know he has spoke very highly of.
Yeah.
So were you learning at a young age then? Is that something where when you have the right person kind of there helping teach you, that you're kind of learning right off the bat?
Yeah, it was nice to have a guy like him that was going to help, like, the lesser skilled kids like me, because I was not always, like, the best skilled skater or puck handler or shooter or anything like that. So it was nice to have him as a coach.
Nice. So you come up here. Where did you guys I know you guys won, I think, 4 midgets?
I won 2 in a row.
Okay, yeah, junior and senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they've won maybe 2 cents or 1 cent. Were you winning then at that peewee and bantam levels and stuff too? Or was that kind of something where you guys as a group kind of worked towards that when you were midgets?
Yeah, we were winning games, but I was also, like I said, I was not the best skilled player, so I was
Okay.
always on like the B team or
Okay.
the JV team.
Yeah.
So when I finally like got my shit together
Yep.
and started doing like off ice during the summer, working out, that was my junior year. We made the transition and turned things around.
Gotcha. So when you talk about that, that's awesome that you can talk like that, because there are some people, parents included, that they can't be honest either with themselves or with their kids or with where their skill set at.
Yeah.
So when you're at those squirt, peewee, bantam age levels, hell, sometimes it just comes to the physical part of kids. Some kids are bigger than other kids.
Yeah.
You'll see kids sometimes in squirts that are killing it. By the time they're a bantam, they've never progressed.
Yeah.
So really, there's nothing wrong with when you're at that squirt level. You do a split. You're on a B team. You're on a C team. You're on a JV team. Wherever, as long as you're on the ice and working on your skill set, that's what's the most important.
That's definitely.
And people overlook that too much. You're thinking.
I agree 100%.
Gotcha. So I don't want this to get away before I want to talk to you about your mom, because these other guys, they talk about their billets.
Yeah.
And, you know, they come in here where you get to see the work that she does within the hockey organization.
Yeah.
So the time and the effort, and I mean, you know, the bullshit she puts up with.
Yeah.
So how has that kind of shaped you for later in life, if marriage and your father and your kids are in hockey? What lessons has she kind of taught you about the volunteering aspect and helping out, and how you can really help be involved and kind of run an organization?
Well, I think, so like volunteering for us, Hayes doesn't let me do a lot because I work during the day.
Okay.
But I definitely like volunteering and helping out with that stuff. But seeing, on the other side of things, seeing what my mom has gone through with the organization for the past couple years, I feel like it's kind of killed her mood a little bit.
Oh, dude, 10,000%, man. It kills a lot of people's mood. That's when you see it. I mean, that's why you see the turnover and everything.
Yeah.
With the rollers. Yeah, because it's just, you know.
Yeah, but she's also told me that she's seen a big turnaround from when she first got in.
Yeah.
3 years ago, 4 years
I
ago.
I think she's ran twice. Yeah, I think she's done twice.
Okay,
yeah.
so her third year in, she's definitely seen a big turnaround, and she's only the scheduler, but she's definitely putting her word out there.
The scheduler is one of, if not the most important positions, because that's
She schedules
I've never been to a
everything.
meeting. Yeah, she schedules the whole shebang. In which I don't know how they're doing it now in COVID stuff, but back in the day, it used to just be everyone showed up at like a hotel banquet hall and then started throwing dates at each other, and it was just a complete.
Yeah, she actually did that 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay, so they're back to doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
She went back to Casper and scheduled some games and got everything from everybody else around Wyoming and got everything scheduled.
Nice. So you've seen. That's something you'll take with you from the standpoint of you see how important it is to be involved, whether at the organizational level or the parenting and coaching level. So that's something that not only with the hockey aspect that you've learned to play hockey, but you've been around what can be done, both good and bad.
Within the organization.
My dad, when I was young, 12 years old, something like that, my dad was on our school board for a few years, and that was back when like you could mail people letters without postmarking it. It was like dude, it was wild. There was no social media. So this is back in the early 90s, but it's stuff like that the people that are putting in the time and stuff. I was thinking on the way over here of people who have probably spent the most time in this rink in, say, the last 10 years maybe. Your mom has to be in the top part.
She's probably up there.
Rick is up there,
Yeah.
with coaching and reffing. Maybe Gino.
Yeah.
But other than that, I guess George when Junior played.
Yeah.
So, but there's a few people that have spent a lot of time here that help keep this thing running.
Yeah,
Okay, so when I was talking to Jack, we were talking a little bit about like skating and kind of screwing around and playing hockey to actually learning the sport. So you talk about that about your junior year. When did you kind of start to learn the most about being a defenseman, like the art of it? And because I'm sure it's every position in hockey, there's certain things you need to know, not know, whatnot. When did you really start learning that the defensive position?
I think it was my first year at Bantams.
Okay.
I had Rick as a coach,
Okay.
and he was a defenseman, so he helped me out a lot with that stuff.
What do you think's maybe the most important thing that he taught you, or kind of the first kind of set of skills and stuff that were important to know?
Well, Rick and every other coach I've had since him has said, if you're going to commit, you better commit. Because if you don't, like if you commit and then you back out and then you do it, you're going to get burned. So
What do you mean? Commit to what? Commit
like,
to trying to steal the puck?
Yeah, so
Commit
if
to
you're
trying to
going
hit somebody?
like if you're going to step and make somebody make a move and get the puck or take the body, you got to commit to one or the other. Like if you're going to hit them or not.
So basically, so when I hear Ethan yelling body at the game, so when the puck is coming back to you guys and you're skating backwards in the zone, you basically have a decision to make on whether to engage that guy, maybe at the blue line or whatnot, or go back and set up and work with him and the goalie, or kind of to take a pass away.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. When do you make the decision? Which I don't remember the complete details, but I know the goal that you scored. I can't remember how it come to be. We had the puck, but you went to the net and then took. So where is that decision made? Is that based on what if we're leading, if we're behind, or how do you make the decision on when to go to the net, or maybe when to not? Making sure you're not getting beat behind you.
So I'm thinking about it in my head right now. So I think I made a hit on the wall next to the bench.
Okay.
And Seja was to my left, and me and him were up front.
Gotcha.
And everybody else was behind us.
Okay, so you had hit the guy and had got stuck there after finishing the hit and the play and went behind you.
Well, I had stolen the puck too. So I made the hit, got the puck, and then I passed it over to Seja. So me and Seja started bolting into the zone.
Okay.
So then, yeah.
Is that cool? Because you're smiling now. I've said it a few times on here. I'll repeat myself a few times. I don't always get to watch what's going on because sometimes I'll be like switching between songs, or there'll be a question on something, or we're trying to change something in point streak or do points and keep track of stuff.
Okay.
But I got to watch that. Like, I watched the whole thing develop, and it was filthy. But was that cool for... I mean, that's not something you get to do all the time, is rush in there on like a 2-on-1. No. Was that a cool... that a cool feeling to get a run in there like that?
It was definitely cool. It was fun for me. I loved it.
And having a guy that can just put it right on the tape and just put her up and in?
He made it easy for me to put it in the net.
Yeah. So it's... Cindy, I can't remember if it was Cindy's pictures or someone else, but you have a pretty big smile on your face right after you hit it because you kind of knew it was going in.
Yeah.
Where you guys are at now, it feels different. You've been, like I said, I think your third full season, the little bit that 4 years ago you came up, I think you played a couple games with him, so I think that might even have been, was that Kruk back then too?
Yeah.
So you've just been through Kruk and now Ethan.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then coming up through the youth stuff a little bit, you've been around the team the whole time. Does this feel different, like this group of guys? Like, does it feels different from where we sit and watch and guys I work with that come.
Yeah.
I mean, first thing on Monday mornings, the last 2 weekends especially, guys have wanted to talk about hockey and how much they've enjoyed it and have enjoyed being here. So is that something you guys can feel? What is it you think that has made the biggest change in just the atmosphere?
So the group of guys we have now, they're a bunch of young guys. So we and they're a bunch of skilled guys. So they know a lot about hockey, and they're young, so they like to have fun. And every day at practice, we just try to have fun and do all that stuff. And me, I'm just like more of a serious guy.
Yeah. We're the old guy now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're the
I'm getting old.
Yeah, so you're the old get off my lawn guy. So
Yeah.
that's just how it is. You, what do you want to do with kind of the rest of the season? Like, how do you see it going? And I mean, is it? I asked Ethan when I talked to him. I mean, can a team out west here go back and compete with the big guys? And I think the way it's going, you guys are definitely going to get a shot, depending on how. I can't think if it was Scotty or Dwayne was talking about. Like, if you guys stay in that top slot when you go back to Minnesota, then you play the other ones
Yeah,
from the
we'll
other.
play.
So that'll be kind of a good, grading system where you're going to be. Are you excited about that chance to go
Yeah.
back with the group and kind of see what you guys can do?
Yeah, I'm very excited because we didn't get to go last year, and I loved it my first year.
Okay. What is it like then? I guess so. If you love it, you've been there, you can probably describe it. First of all, where do you go?
We go to Blaine, Minnesota.
Okay, and is it just a bunch of sheets of ice?
Yeah, I think there's 7 sheets.
Holy cow! And it's the NA3HL that's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the ones get paired with the ones, twos with the twos, threes with the three, kind of where you're ranked that point in the standings of the season.
Yeah.
And then you guys just kind of round robin with each other?
Yeah, we'll play 3 games against 3 other ranked 1 teams.
Okay, gotcha. And then that's an opportunity for, I assume, like the NAHL. It's scouting stuff that's
Yeah.
going on there and
They'll
stuff like
have
that
scouts
too.
there and stuff too.
Nice. Do you want to take hockey on to another level, or what plans do you have, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I would like to go to college and play hockey, but if I can't, I have a backup plan, and it's to go to welding school or
Nice.
tech school.
Can you do that here?
Yeah,
Okay.
at the Western Welding Academy that they have here.
Okay. Now that is a great trade. I can tell you that. So
Yeah, I love it.
You had mentioned though staying here, or I don't know how much you want to get up into the Bakken. He's a whole nother animal up there. But I saw you talked about West Texas a little bit.
Yeah,
Have you been down there before?
I've never been to Texas.
Oh, okay. So that's where our family originally is from, West Texas. Jen's best friend, she lives in Midland now. Her husband, he welds down there.
Oh,
So it's as kind of cold as it gets here. It gets hot.
yeah.
there. So it's kind of the change of both
Yeah.
worlds. But no, that's cool, man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You've oh, I know one other thing I want to ask you about. So you got hurt last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was
2 years ago?
end of my first year.
Yeah, end of your first year, you get hurt. Did you think about being done? Or what was that process? Because I know I don't want to say it took you a while, but I know when you did come back, you talked about trusting it. And
Yeah.
the first couple times you skated, it took you a little while to trust it, and then you finally got over that. Kind of, what was that process like, and the decision to come back and keep playing hockey?
So, when I first tore my ACL, I was thinking about how long the recovery was going to be,
Okay,
and then I was going to base my decision off of that.
okay,
So, when I got my surgery done, I got it done as soon as I could so I could try and come back. And then when I got it done, I went to the doctor and they said we could be recovered in a month of no contact, like a month before season. So I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
yeah,
So I worked my ass off that summer working with Randy and the guys at GPT, working on my knee, getting it built up. And
What's the difference between, okay, so Randy tells you, all right, dude, you're ready to go.
yeah,
And then the first time you put the skates on and go out there, are you ginger with it? I've not only have I never skated, I've never had an ACL deal or anything like that. So, I mean, even though all the doctors and everyone tell you you're ready to go, is it still ginger? at the
Yeah.
start on what you can trust and stuff?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that Randy said that stuck in my head was that it's like learning how to walk again.
Okay.
So I had to learn how to walk, run, and skate pretty much all at the same time. So
Okay.
it was kind of a rough experience,
Yeah.
but at first I babied it and I didn't play as hard as I could have. Even though I had a brace on, I was still babying it and being real careful with it, but I think I finally came out of that towards like end of the year. I finally came out of it.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know if I said last thing, but this will be the super last thing. That's the other thing I want to ask you about. My youngest is getting into reffing now, and I know, I can't remember if it's 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like you literally reffed every single GHA game for like a whole winter. So is that something that the kids that are playing hockey and wanting to do it for the money, is that something that you would encourage them to do? Because that's, I mean, it's a good way, especially if you are a hockey player and you're going to have the stuff. Talk about kind of what got you into the reffing standpoint, and is that something you enjoyed?
So for getting me into reffing, I did it kind of as like a pocket filler.
Okay.
For money. And then I started seeing it from a different perspective, from a player's perspective to the referee's perspective.
Okay.
So, and then it helped me learn all the different calls and like how you call it, like if somebody did they intend to hurt them or did they not. So I think I would definitely encourage a younger person to do it, just so you can see the game from just a change of direction.
And it's probably some stuff they are going to have to put up with, a little bit of stupid shit.
Yeah.
So, but
100%. We deal with it, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's something that's cool. Like I said, I'm anxious to see. Our oldest one tried it. She didn't enjoy it. She likes, she helps out at a daycare after school. She's a lot more shy, bashful maybe. My youngest one, and then it's just for the first time a coach says something to her and maybe something gets said back. So we'll have to see how that goes. But dude, it's been fun. I know just for you, I've enjoyed watching you, so I think you are a very good influence on the younger kids and stuff in the association. I enjoy watching you guys around the kids, and I think you as one of the older guys with this younger group, I think you're setting them up on a good path of how much influence they can have on some of the younger kids that maybe aren't even in the association but come to meet the players and skate with the players and stuff. Yeah. So that's cool, and I enjoy watching you guys. I'm anxious for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we enjoy putting on a show for everybody.
Well, you guys have been doing that too, man. It's been fun. Are you ready to get back on the road though? Like, is there any part of that like 12-hour bus ride that's enjoyable at all? It's got to be cool to go into somewhere and just beat the piss out of somebody.
Yeah, to go there on their home turf and beat them, it's pretty fun. It's a good feeling, but that bus ride does suck.
Awesome. Well, you got the split this weekend, the home and home, and then then you guys just go to Cody, I think, so far. So you don't even have to take off on
short bus ride.
Yeah, short bus ride. So nothing terrible. Easton, I appreciate it, dude.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, it was cool to sit down with Jack and Easton. The thing I'm finding out as you talk to all these young men is they're very cool. They all love the sport of hockey, and they all have stories to tell. The journeys that people take through life, it's no different than any of us and the folks we work with. The journey and the paths that people take to end up in spots. It's fun to get to sit and chat and listen. And those are just two more of the great young men that Coach Hayes has brought in here and we have here in Gillette. So, like we said an hour ago, the reason we kind of move this to a Thursday is because the NA3HL, they like to give the official paperwork and whatnot on the Tuesday. So that gives us a chance to go through it and kind of look at how stuff's going. So there was a couple awards. The first award that we're going to talk about is the monthly the monthly players for the month of September. Okay. The Bauer NA3HL forward of the month is Sam Feemster from Helena, who, when you look at the stats, he had a whale of a month, and he had to have had a whale of a month to have taken that award from Declan Young. Declan Young had maybe one of the best months in Gillette Wild franchise history. He is now tied for the franchise record in points scored. He already has the goal record this weekend in one of the two games we have against Sheridan. In Sheridan Friday night, at Spirit Hall Saturday night. I fully expect Declan. If I had to bet on it, I'd say he's going to do it Friday first period in Sheridan. We'll get to, well, we can't gamble on this stuff because there's no like DraftKings hasn't moved. They haven't moved down to that quite yet. So Declan Young, the runner-up for the forward of the month. Bauer Hockey, NA3HL defenseman of the month. We're going to see. I'll see if we can pull it up. We're trying a little something new here with the graphics too. We'll see if we can get that up there. Okay. Bauer Hockey, NA3HL defenseman of the month, Brock Trebojevic of your Gillette Wild. Trebojevic, this is their words, not mine. This is straight from the NA3HL. That's where we get all this stuff. It's a great way to follow along, see schedules, see points, find out where the guys are from, check out rosters, although some teams do a better job than others at keeping the rosters up to date. I'm just going, this is straight from the website. Trebojevic balanced steady defensive play with some offensive flair in September, notching 2 goals and 8 assists, 10 points, and a plus 11 rating across 6 games last month. After scoring and recording 2 assists in his first game, Trebojevic continued producing on a 5-game streak, highlighted by his 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points outing on September 18th against Yellowstone. The second-year blue liner posted an even plus-minus rating or better in each of his September outings, and he leads all the NA3HL defensemen in scoring. That's awesome. Brock's hot. Right now, he's the best defenseman in the NA3HL. There you go. Also, NA3HL goaltender of the month, Ian Hedekin of the Oregon Tradesman. He took home that award. I'm not sure on it. He faced like 104 shots in 2 games. That's a wild, that is a hell of a weekend for that young guy. But the young man you saw earlier, honorable mention in this category, our very own Jack Orchard. Now, we're going to get back on the NA3HL, and they announced their monthly players of the month as well. That's wrong. They announced the weekly players for the week. This would have been last week into the first week of this month. I clicked that. It tried to load the stars of the week. That's what they call it. The NA3HL announces Bauer Hockey Stars of the Week. We go through it and we see in the Frontier Division, Feemster again, not only the player of the month, the player of the week from Helena. As we've discussed in the past, I think we are on a crack. It's early in the season, but all signs indicate that it's going to be some phenomenal hockey series between Helena and Gillette. We don't play until December, so both teams got to kind of stay on track, but it looks like that top spot in the Frontier we're going to battle it out. It's going to be Gillette and Helena battling it out for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing this Feemster kid. He's from Southeast Colorado. That's where I am from. Not a hockey hotbed. I'm anxious to watch him when he comes down here. So Bauer, NA3HL announces Bauer Hockey Stars of the Week for the Frontier. And when you go through it, you see that Samuel Feemster was the star. But when you look at the honorable mention, both Carson Cooch, who is back with the Wild, You might have heard Mr. Geis refer to it a time or two. We will get Carson on the pod here in the next couple of weeks. I am very interested to learn about his summer hobby. I don't know if you call it a hobby. His job is he fights forest fires. So I don't know if any of our young men do it. I haven't got into too much of like what their summer jobs are and stuff. I mean, I'm sure, I know Easton, he works his ass off, but some of the guys, they might be sitting around the pool. No, Cooch is that he's fighting fires. Like that's wild no pun intended. And also, I believe he was the third star both nights this last weekend. Isaac Young, honorable mention there for the Bauer Hockey Stars of the Week for the Frontier Division. Big weekend coming up. Friday night, the boys go to Sheridan, 100 miles up I-90. They're going to go up there 7:30. The puck drops up there at the Whitney Rink in the M&M Center. Saturday night, they are back in town, Spirit Hall, 7:05 puck drop. Let's pack that place. We did a good job last weekend. Had 250s, 275 or something Friday night. I think it was homecoming. The Bolts had the football game. Saturday night, we had almost 600 people at Spirit Hall. Let's bring that energy. Let's bring that energy Saturday night, Spirit Hall Ice Arena. I want to pack that place. I mean, come on. There's nothing more fun than cheering against Sheridan. So let's do it. Saturday night, 7:05, Spirit Hall Ice Arena. We'll see you guys there. Good night.